Welcome to the next session of pre-stressed concrete structures and the fifth chapter, design for shear and torsion. And coming to the here chapter name of the textbook is shear and torsional resistance of the pre-stressed concrete members. In up to now previous classes we have discussed about the basic concept of design and drawing of reinforced concrete structures for design for shear and torsion. We have seen about the what is meant by normal stress and what is meant by shear stress and what is meant by shear strength of the concrete and percentage of the steel reinforcement. Based on that how the shear stresses will be developing at the support, and the shearing resistance of the concrete will be depend upon the percentage of the tension reinforcement and grade of the concrete. All these parameters we have discussed till now. In today's class we will see the concept for this shear and principal tensile stresses. Before going to this, again I will explain about the normal concept for the what is meant by normal stress and what is meant by shear stress. Later we will discuss about the torsional resistance of the pre-stressed concrete members. Suppose if you observe here, if you take any normal rectangular beam, for this normal rectangular beam, if we apply the load it will be maybe a direct stresses. These direct stresses are nothing but the normal stresses. These normal stresses are acting along x direction. Again, if you consider here the shear normal force or normal stress acting along the y direction, also we are taking in this direction. That means for this we can write this is the sigma x acting the normal force along the x direction, as well as this is the normal force acting along the y axis. This is we can take it as sigma y. If you want to calculate the normal stress, this how much amount of shear force will be acting in this particular point area of the member, this plane, if you consider, you will get the normal stress of this particular type of the member. As well as if you observe shearing stress, already we have seen in previous lecture. If you observe here, if you consider any plane, one force is acting in the upward direction and other force is acting in the downward direction. Due to opposing force of these two forces, which the member will be going to get its shear in this direction. For this particular type of the members, pre-stressed concrete members, how the shear stresses and the normal stresses will be acting on this pre-stressed concrete member, how the maximum shear resistance we should have to design, that we will discuss in today's class. And again, if you see here in pre-stressed concrete member, will apply the tendon to resist the applied load to reduce the magnitude of the moment of bending of this particular type of the member. The pre-stressing normally will stretch this tendon in the horizontal direction and will leave this cut this tendon, and which will generate the compressive forces in the concrete, which will resist the loads acting on this structural member. As well as we are also give the this tendon in the vertical direction. Also the pre-stressing force we are giving in the vertical direction also. By giving this vertical direction also, the pre-stressing force, the structural member will have the resistance to take care of the amount of load, and you should not to give any amount of cracks, that we will discuss in today's class. For this shear and torsion, you should have to get some basic knowledge on the normal stress, shear stress and the principal stresses. Then only you will get this concept of the pre-stressed concrete members. And coming to the here shear and principal stresses, for this shear and principal stresses, if you observe here, the shear distribution in any uncracked structural concrete member for which the deformation is assumed to be linear is a function of the shear force and the properties of the cross section of the member. That means if you consider any type of the structural concrete member, while applying the load, due to this application of the load, the structural member will may observe the crack in this direction. For uncracked structural member, for uncracked structural member, for uncracked structural member, the function of the stress to strain, that means the formation of the deflection for this particular type of the member is the function of the shear force, how much amount of shear force is acting on this particular type of the section, as well as what is the width of the section you are providing, as well as what is the length of the section or length of the beam you are providing. Based on this cross sectional dimension, the shearing force or the shearing stress is developing on this particular type of the prestressed concrete member, we may can determine. And coming to this shearing stress at a point expressed in this particular type of the beam, tau v equal to that shearing stress, tau v equal to Vs divided by Ib. This is the formula which is used to calculate the shearing stress of the pre-stressed concrete beam, which is having some certain cross-sectional dimension, as well as the application of the load, due to application of the load which generate the shearing force, where tau v equal to shearing stresses developed due to the transfer of the loads. That means already I have explained. Suppose if you observe, this is the pre-stressed concrete beam. For this pre-stressed concrete beam, while applying the uniformly distributed load or any amount of load, because of this loading condition, the structural member will may get the shearing force. That shearing force, how much it is get transferring because of these loads we are taking as a shear stress tau v, as well as where v equal to shearing force acting on this particular type of the pre-stressed concrete member, how much amount of load you are giving. Based on that loading condition, the shearing force, how much getting at this support we are calculating. And where S is the statistical moment or first moment area of the cross section of this particular type of the pre-stressed concrete member, and where I is the second moment of area of the cross section about its centroidal axis. Already we have discussed. And if you consider this is the neutral axis, above this neutral axis we are having the compressive forces, and below this neutral axis we will have the tangential forces. While applying the load, due to this application of the load, the compressive direction, the concrete will take care of the load. Again, below this neutral axis, the concrete will not take care amount of load, only steel will take the load. That is nothing but the tangential force or tangential strength. And we're coming to here, b equal to breadth of the section at the given point. That means if you consider here, this is your breadth of the section or breadth of the beam for and this is the length of the beam for where you the section you are calculating for that particular type of the shear force. At that particular section, what is the width of the section we are providing, that we should have to calculate, or that we should have to written here. And coming to here, the effect of this shear stress is to induce principal tangential stresses on the diagonal planes. The strength of the concrete subjected to pure shear being nearly twice that in the tension. Local shear first appear in the form of diagonal tension cracks in the region of the higher shear stresses. That means already we have explained. Suppose if you consider here, this is the concrete block we are taking. For this concrete block, if you observe here, this is the normal stresses. They are acting both in the x direction and y direction. Again, if you observe here, this is the shearing forces or shearing stresses generating in this particular type of the member, two opposing force. If you observe, these are the two opposing forces. Because of this the shearing stress will may generate in this particular type of the precious concrete beam. And the shear stress is induced principal tangential stress on the diagonal planes. That means in because of this shearing stresses, the diagonal planes will may get developed. The diagonal planes which will have the capacity to failure of this particular type of the section. The strength of the concrete is subjected to pure shear being nearly twice that in the tension. Where the forces are developing in the tension is the twice of the forces generating in the compressive forces. Local shear failure for this type of the diagonal tensions which may happen in this type of the pre-stressed concrete member. Because of this developing steel tendons in this pre-stressed concrete member, the diagonal tensions what we are developing here, it will may get less than the compared to normal reinforced concrete type of the structural members. And see here, in pre-stressed concrete member, the shear stress is generally accompanied by direct stresses in the axial direction of the member. And if transversive vertical pre-stressing is adapted, compressive forces in the direction perpendicular to the axis of the member will be presented in addition to the axial pre-stress. That means if you observe here for this particular type of the pre-stressed concrete member, if you give the tendon here and if you stretch this tendon, because of this stretching of this tendon, it will give the compressive forces. Because of this compressive forces, the shear stresses is generally accompanied by the direct stresses in the axial direction of the member. That means directly while giving the load, because of the directly giving load, the pre-stressing force, so what we are getting directly develop the compressive forces and will resist the direct compressive forces, and it does not develop maximum amount of the diagonal stresses. In the similar way, we can develop the compressive force in the direction perpendicular to the axis of the member will present to the axial pre-stresses. Compared to this axial pre-stress, the diagonal stresses to reduce, we can give the vertical pre-stressing for this particular type of the pre-stressed concrete member structures also. And coming to the most general case of the element subjected to a two-dimensional stress system, as shown in the below figure. That means if you observe here, this is the type of the block or plane we are considering here where Fx and Fx, the forces are acting along this horizontal direction of the plane, where Fy and Fy are the forces that are acting along the vertical direction for this particular type of the beam. And if you observe here, these are the shearing forces are generating both opposing in this particular type of the plane. Because of this shearing forces and this normal forces, the plane will make it generate the diagonal tension, and the diagonal tensions may be minimum or maximum. Or minimum stress, how much it is generating, maximum amount of stress is how much it is generating, that we are calculating by using this shear stress formula. And observe here, the maximum and minimum principal stresses developed are given by this following equation. This basic equation you are getting from your strength of materials or solid mechanics. You will get this formula for the maximum and principal tensile stresses are get generating in a two-dimensional plane system, where the sigma x and sigma y that means Fx or Fy are the forces are acting along normal to the direction, and tau v is the shearing stress or shearing force that is acting this both planes in perpendicular direction. And the maximum and minimum principal stresses are given by this following equation. That means Fx minimum or Fy minimum equal to Fx plus Fy divided by 2 plus or minus 1 by 2 into square root of Fx square minus Fy whole square plus 4 tau v square. This is the formula to calculate the maximum or minimum principal stresses developed in a given plane of the section. Fx is the that force, normal force acting in the normal to the plane in x direction, and Fy is the normal force acting in the y direction, that means perpendicular to axis of this particular type of the member, where tau v is the shear force or shearing stress that is developing opposing these two types of the planes. And if you see here, where Fx and Fy are the direct stresses, that means normal stresses, and tau v is the shearing stresses acting at this point, that means the shearing stresses acting at this plane of the point that we are taking as the shearing stresses. And if you observe here, in pre-stressed concrete members, the direct stresses Fx and Fy being compressive, the magnitude of the principal tensile stresses is considerably reduced, and in some cases even it may be eliminated, so that under working load both major and minimum principal stresses are compressive, thereby eliminating the risk of diagonal tension occurring in the cracks of the concrete member. That means if you observe here, this is the pre-stressed concrete member. Here we are providing the steel tendon. For this steel tendon will stretch with we will stretch this tendon with the hydraulic jacks. Because of this hydraulic jack, the member may develop the compressive forces for this particular type of the member while applying the load. Because of this application of the load, the compressive forces are generating here may get reduced this load acting on this particular type of the member, which may reduce which may eliminate the developing of the diagonal tension cracks developing in the pre-stressed concrete member. And sometimes the pre-stresses principal tensile stresses are also getting reducing. And again, if you observe here, in pre-stressed concrete member, the direct stresses Fx and Fy are being compressive. That means after dragging up this tendons in both sides, while releasing, these two forces are get generating in this compressive direction. Because of this compressive direction, the member will may get generate the compressive force, and which may have the resistance to the top amount of load, thereby reducing the principal tangential stresses in this particular type of the pre-stressed concrete member. And coming to the next three conditions. In general, there are three ways of improving the shearing resistance of the structural concrete member by pre-stressing techniques, as well as if you observe here in this particular type of the pre-stressed concrete member, if you drag this pre-stressing force along the x direction while applying the load, due to this application of the load without getting cracks in this particular type of the member, we can resist by the few more conditions. These conditions are nothing but the horizontal or axial pre-stressing. That means normally will stretch the tendon in the horizontal direction only. That point only he is mentioning here. That is the pre-stressing what we are giving for that particular type of pre-stressed concrete member. We should have to give in a horizontal direction or in a axial direction, where axis is there in axial direction. We should have to pre-stress that particular type of the pre-stressed concrete member. Next, pre-stressing by the inclined or sloping cables. For this inclined or sloping for parabolic cables, already we have discussed. And if you observe here, this is the pre-stressed concrete beam, and at the support we are not providing any slope. And if you observe here, at the center of the span we are providing the slope. By providing like this sloping of the cables or inclined cables, also the pre-stressing force it will be more, and it does not give, or it will reduce the development of the tangential cracks or diagonal tensions developed in the pre-stressed concrete member. And coming to next one is the vertical or transverse pre-stressing. Vertical or transverse pre-stressing also will keeping the tendons in this direction. And if by hydraulic jerks, if you drag this stretching of the tendons, also the pre-stressing force generated in the pre-stressed concrete structural member, it will make it reduced, and the structural member have the capacity not to get developed the diagonal tensions provided in this particular type of the pre-stressed concrete member. In this way, we can improve the shearing resistance of the structural member, which does not give the more tangential stresses. That means more shearing stresses along the diagonal tension of the pre-stressed concrete member. And if you observe here, the effect of these different techniques for pre-stressing on the magnitude of the principal tangential stress is illustrated by the following problems. That means following examples. Now, if you consider any type of beam while applying the load, because of this direct load and because of the pre-stressing force, how much this shearing stresses are get generating for this for the pre-stressed concrete member, that we will discuss now by using one simple basic problem. And coming to the problem, and if you observe here, a pre-stressed concrete beam span equal to 10 meters. That means if you observe here, this is the pre-stressed concrete beam span equal to 10 meter of a rectangular section with 120 mm wide and 300 mm deep. And this is the long tool section. Here I am cross section I am drawing here, and this is the width of the section we are taking here. This is the width of the section we are taking here, and this is the depth of the section we are taking here. The width of the section B, they are given the problem as 120 mm, and depth of the section D, they are given in the problem as 300 mm in deep. 300 mm deep is actually pre-stressed by a cable. By a cable carrying an effective force of 180 kN. That means for this pre-stressed concrete beam, by using steel tendon they are providing. For this steel tendon, they give the axial pre-stressing force or a horizontal pre-stressing force with 180 kN. The beam supports a uniformly distributed load of 5 kN per meter. The beam what is developing here, it is developing a uniformly distributed load of uniformly distributed load of 5 kilonewton per meter, which includes the self weight of the beam. The self weight of the beam also includes with 5 kilonewton per meter. Compute the magnitude of principal tension developed in the beam with and without the axial pressures. That means without giving this axial pressures, how much amount of tangential stress are generating in this particular type of the precious concrete member, that we should have to discuss. Before going to this problem, first we should have to write the all the given parameter. That the given parameter is nothing but the length of the span of the beam, L equal to 10 meters, as well as width of the beam, B equal to 120 mm, and depth of the beam, D equal to 300 mm, and pre-stressing force P equal to 180 kilonewton, and uniformly distributed load WD, or uniformly distributed load W equal to 5 kilonewton per meter. Self weight of the beam, here they didn't consider, hence you need not to calculate the self weight of the beam. And if you see here, area of the cross section of this particular type of the pre-stressed concrete block, suppose if you observe, this is the cross section of this pre-stressed concrete beam. For this pre-stressed concrete beam, the cross section area A equal to B into D, that means 120 into 300, which will give 36 into 10 power 3 mm square. And second moment of inertia I equal to BD cube by 12, that means 120 into 300 power 3 divided by 12, which gives the second moment of inertia. That second moment of inertia is 120 into 3, we are having the depth of the beam as 300, BDQ divided by 12. If you substitute and calculate, you will get this moment of inertia of the value as this much value. And next, coming to the uniformly distributed load acting on this particular type of the precious concrete member, WD equal to 5 kilonewton per meter. Next, shear force at the support B equal to shear force. We are having the formula for uniformly distributed load for a simply supported beam. That shear force V equal to W into L by 2. Shear force at the support of the section B equal to W into WD into L divided by 2, where WD is the uniformly distributed load 5 into length of the precious concrete member 10 divided by 2. We are getting the shear force at the support as 25 kilonewton is the force acting on this particular type of the precious concrete member. Suppose if you observe here, this is the precious concrete member. At this support of the beam, we are getting this shear force at the support as 25 kilonewton. And next, coming to the maximum shear stress at the support, tau V equal to, that means maximum shear stress developing, maximum shear stress is developing at the support equal to tau V equal to 3V by 2BH. If you observe here, for this particular type of the precious concrete member, the shearing force, if you draw here, in this way, the shearing force will may generate for this particular type of the precious concrete member. At the support, we are calculating the maximum shear stress of V equal to 3V divided by 2B into H, where 3 by 2 into V is the shear force. Already we have calculated, that is 25 kilonewton. 1 kilonewton equal to 10 to the power of 3 newtons. Wait a minute, I'll clean all this section. And if you see here, if you observe here, already we know the parameters, where 1 kilonewton equal to 1000 newtons. 1 kilonewton equal to 1000 newtons. That means 3 by 2 into 25 into 10 to the power of 3 divided by 2 into B is the width of the section 120 and D is the depth of the section 300 mm. That means the maximum shear stress at the support of V equal to 1.05 Newton per mm square. This is the value we are taking for this particular type of the precious concrete member. Next, coming to the principal stresses without considering any axial pre-stresses or without considering any horizontal pre-stresses. That means we are having the formula maximum principal stress F max or F minimum equal to, that is F equal to fx minus fy by 2 plus 1 by 2 into square root of 4 of v square. Here first condition, we are not considering any axial pre-stressing force, hence why we are having the principal stress is equal to 1 by 2 into square root of 4 of v square, plus or minus this square root of 4 we are having the 2, and here 2 by 2 will make it cancel, and directly we are having the plus or minus tau v, where this plus indicates the compressive forces generating, and negative symbol represents the tangential forces representing. That means the compression of the tension, compression of the member, or stretching of the member. That V equal to 1.05 Newton per mm square, compression and tension, where plus symbol indicates the compression of the pre-stressed concrete member, and minus symbol indicates the tension of the pre-stressing concrete block. And if you observe here, next we should have to calculate the principal stresses, maximum and minimal principal stresses with the consideration of the axial pre-stress. That means with consideration of the horizontal pre-stress. That axial pre-stress effects in the horizontal direction equal to, that means if you, this is your pre-stressed concrete member. For this pre-stressed concrete member, we are stretching this tendon. Because of this stretching of the tendon, the compressive force are generating in this block. For this compressive forces, so how much direct stresses are generating, that we should have to calculate. That direct stresses generating, calculating by using this formula, Fx equal to P divided by A. Fx equal to P divided by A. That means what is the pre-stressing force you are giving this particular type of the pre-stressed concrete member, and the area of the cross section of this particular type of the pre-stressed concrete block. That is nothing but P by A. Which P we are having the 180 kilonewton. That means 180 into 10 to the power of 3 divided by area of the cross section 120 into 300, and by calculating this value we are getting the axial pre-stressing force or axial pre-stress equal to 5 Newton per mm square. In axial direction 5 Newton per mm square we are giving the axial pre-stress. Next we should have to calculate the maximum and minimum principal stresses, and again the maximum and minimum principal stress we are having the formula F equal to sigma x plus again I am writing here sigma x plus sigma y divided by 2 into 2 plus or minus 1 by 2 into square root of sigma x minus sigma y whole square plus 4 tau v square. This is the formula for calculation of the maximum and minimum principal stresses generating in the pre-stressed concrete member, where direct compressive forces in the axial direction as well as in the vertical direction. If you observe here in this present problem, we are considered only the axial pre-stress, and so this sigma y won't consider for this particular type of the situations. And here you can write either it is the sigma x or fx, hence the maximum and minimum principal stress is equal to fx by 2 plus or minus 1 by 2 into square root of fx square plus 4 tau v square, and that is equal to 5 by 2 into axial pressures. We are calculating this value p by as 5, and so 5 by 2 plus or minus 1 by 2 into square root of fx square value we are having pi square plus 4 into tau v square, that is 1.05 square, and by substituting this 5 by 2 we are getting this value as 2.5, and by calculating this value 5 square plus 4 into 1.04 square we are getting this value as 2.73. The maximum principal stress is generating equal to plus 5.23 Newton per mm square, whereas compression while giving the axial pre-stressing, and the minimum principal stresses generating in this particular type of the pre-stressed concrete member equal to minus 2.3, which will gives the tension for this particular type of the pre-stressed concrete member. In this way we will calculate the maximum and minimum principal stresses for this type of the pre-stressed concrete member. Hence with the axial pre-stress the principal tension is reduced. How much it is reducing, that we should have to calculate. That means before axial pre-stress, what are the principal tension is getting, and after the pre-stressing what are the principal tension is developed, that we should have to calculate. If you observe here, before pre-stressing force, that means before axial stress we are developing the maximum shear stress at the support equal to 1.05 Newton per mm square in both tension and compression. Whereas by giving this axial pre-stressing force, we are getting the principal tensile stresses in the tension direction as minus 0.23 and in compression plus 5.23. Hence, if you observe here, hence with the axial pre-stress, the principal tension is reduced by 1.05 minus 0.23 divided by 1.05 into 100. That means 78% of the tensile stresses developed in the pre-stressed concrete member is get reduced by the action of the axial pre-stressing. In this way, in the similar way, we can calculate the how much amount of tension will make it reduced by this particular type of the pre-stressed concrete member also. While giving the vertical pre-stressing, that we can also calculate by using this formula. This is the condition how we can calculate the axial pre-stressing of the pre-stressed concrete structural member. In next class, we will solve the few more problems based on this concept. Up to now, this is the topic for the pre-stressed concrete structural members.